We're live now. We're live now. We're live now. We're live now. We're live now.
Good morning, everybody. Okay, I like the enthusiasm on that one. How's everybody doing this morning? Good? Good. Well, folks, my name is Aaron Hall, and welcome to Satellite Hours. Give yourselves a round of applause, please. Y'all can do better than that. Come on. I'll give me the golf clap. And he puts a hole in the one. Well, you get an excuse. Everybody pray for Mama Gibbs. She hurt her arm, all right? Pray for a speedy recovery. Out in the community, kicking down doors and cleaning out vacant buildings. Mama Gibbs is my spirit animal, as the folks say nowadays. My spirit animal. Okay, well, it's good to see you all there. So happy to have joined you. I know I missed last week. It was my first vacation. Thank you. Y'all don't see the tan? I look good. Let's give it up for our, my colleagues here. We have Aisha Mitchell. Everybody say hi to Aisha. And we have Mr. Reginald Alexander in the back. Everybody, hey, Reginald. And as you all know, we are streaming our meeting live today. So everybody look at the camera and say, hey, folks at home. Hey, folks at home. I think that's funny because they actually do respond. They say, hey, so-and-so checking in. And they'll ask questions and stuff, and you forget to ask. Hey, mama. My mother, ask. I want to make sure that everyone is familiar with one another in the room. You all set? Hey, how's it going?
Hello.
Got a DVD here today. Not just DVD. Welcome. Let's actually make some time to introduce them. Come on, guys. Come on up to the front real quick. Okay, let's go ahead. Come on and say hello.
How's everybody doing today?
Let's make sure you get a microphone. Let's grab this microphone right here. Just let everybody know who you are, your position, and the gentleman you have here with you.
Good morning, everyone. I'm Commander Darrell Patterson of the 8th Precinct. I'm a 32-and-a-half-year veteran. Been on the job for that long since I got out of the Army. So once I got out of the Army, a week later, I joined the police department. 6 months later, here I am. And I've been here ever since. I grew up in the 8th Precinct, District 1, and always wanted to be here. When I got out of the police academy, I immediately applied for the 8th Precinct, but they sent me to number 2 instead. So, but now I finally made it here. I got here as the is Captain DeSico.
Hey, Captain DeSico. Come on up, man. So everybody here and at home, hello.
Hey, everybody.
Hey.
Well, kind of do the same thing the commander did here.
Hold the microphone up a little bit.
23 years on the job now. Been a captain for about 6 months.
You brand new. Okay, cool.
23 years.
On this job. Yeah.
Right.
6 months.
But I'm a family legacy of DPD. My grandfather retired in 1972. My dad retired in 2005. And myself and I have 2 brothers also working in the department. All Detroit police for forever. I went to high school at St. Agatha over here in number 8. Well, it's not St. Agatha anymore. But, yeah.
You really dating me. I don't know. St. who? You guys know what St. Agatha?
Yeah. I don't know what it's called now. I think it's a charter school now.
Okay. Okay, what is that? We'll talk about it later. Okay, got you. Cool. 'Cause I really want to know the information on that one. St. Agatha. So many schools have changed over nowadays. You don't know nothing from how it was back in the day. Well, we are glad to have you. Do you guys have any questions while I have them up here on the microphone? You want to introduce yourselves? We have a lot of community groups in the audience. We know that we have a lot of come out to the 8th Precinct, community relations meetings, and things of that nature. We're glad to have you here. I know that we need to get that between, you know, our service. You got it in my head. Here you go. Sorry about that. guys didn't notice that. Don't worry about it. We love to have that open, and you didn't notice that either. Though. We love to have that open dialogue between our men in blue and our community. So, folks, give it up for one more time, please. Thank you.
Can I just say something? Everybody who's going to use the mic today, we got a little bit of mic etiquette. I know sometimes a little creepy holding something, right up in your face, but we need you to hold it close because that's the only way we're going to be able to. So please hold the mics close to your mouth. Thank you.
I'm a little socially awkward. I might do that, so I apologize in advance. Let's So, Rich, you start on this side of the room. You heard who we are. We want to hear who you are now, too, okay?
You want me to stand up?
My name is Terrence Johnson, and I am here on behalf of a company, or organization by the name of Perscolas.
What is that? Tell us what the body is.
Sure. Perscolas, we are an IT training, workforce development. What we do is we offer free IT training, and we also have a partnership with a company by the name of Tech Systems.
Okay.
So we're able to do training as well as help with job placement. So I'm here to make the appeal for those who are in need of or have family members in need of employment opportunities. We're here for you. You know what? I'm gonna put that in for a class.
Work my phone to check my voicemail. Well, listen, we got somebody we brought just for you. Surprise! This is how you check your voice.
Between that and turning off the ringer in church, we're gonna get that together.
Man, listen. Man, thank
Clemens, and I am the leader for the project Intersections. I'm with the Urban Advocacy Corps, and we work out of the 8th Precinct area. So we work closely with the police officers. We're fighting against intimate partner violence and domestic violence. So we're having community conversations with block club owners, business owners, church leaders. We're looking to come in and empower the community to have a community-directed response. That means we're coming together to find solutions to help each other. We all know that there is someone that is dealing with domestic violence. So if it's happening to them, it should affect us. So we're looking for solutions.
So what do you define domestic violence as, though? Is it in a household? Can it be family? Can it be relationships? What is the definition?
Relationships.
Okay, gotcha.
It's against intimate partners. So husbands, wives, boyfriend, girlfriends, same sex.
Gotcha. Okay. I'm trying
It's
to get
happening, and it's happening. And we're looking to help the officers because they can't do it all.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
What about grandparents and parents?
Grandparents and parents. Partner violence is our focus. However, those are And real quick, we do have an event on October the 21st. This is the flyer that I'll be passing around. We'll have different activities, and we're just learning how we can come together, creating a safer space so we can talk about it. We're not keeping it quiet anymore. We're not hiding from it, and we're not being judgmental. We're being a help. Thank you.
Thank you so much. I'm offended you look at me when I said food. That's how you get me in with you. We have brunch. You can't. You.
Community. Gwendolyn Weathers.
Albert.
My name is Albert Smith. I'm with this agent block, and I'm forward.
What are your community borders and the association and whatnot? So they give you the extra info. CNBC.
Yeah. First opportunity I had to make it in, and I decided to.
You should pass it to the woman on the left. Just introduce yourselves. Who are
and I'm a member of the EL7A.
speakers? Go ahead and say who you are, Kevin. Come on.
For the record, my name is Kevin Quinn. I'm with the General Service.
And you live in the area, right?
Great to join you this morning. So if you have any events or meetings or anything you would like one of our interns or representatives to be at, we will be there. 313 number, you have my email and more time, 313 HICKS.
When we give our time.
Kenfield Association.
See you there.
My name is Clinton Fort.
Okay, cool. We're glad to have you. Our early bird for the day.
Good morning. Anyway, my name is Shirley Fort, and we had also Block Club beginnings we didn't quite go, but we got our start. My husband and I. Before our second child was born, and we're still.
Okay, cool. It's your forever home now.
Yeah, until we,
Start and ending. Amen. Amen. Okay, cool. Thank you so much.
And 8 Mile and Southfield and Evergreen. That's the
And my grandma from a different great grandma.
Good morning. My name is Yvonne Diggs, and I'm with the Peoria Community Block Club Association.
We the original. Don't get it confused. Huh? Gotcha.
Good morning.
Good morning. Hey, cousin. Where your people from?
Indianapolis, Indiana.
Oh, never mind then. This the cousin. My folks from Arkansas. All right, Louisiana.
I live on Blackstone Street between. Just wanted to come to the meeting, see what's going on.
Is that your wife sitting next to you?
Yes, it
I
is.
can tell the way she smacked that microphone.
Everybody, my name is Amy Hall, and I'm here representing Blackstone Street. Situations as are going on in our neighborhood for Section 8s, children who seem like they're running wild with no kind of
meetings and information in our database. Yes, ma'am. As we love to support you. You look around the room, these are, folks from community groups all around the district. And we always say all the time that we may not
have 71, and I'm still here, and I'm glad we're having these meetings because we sort of needed it.
Yes, we're glad to have her. Hello.
Marcus Harris, Rosedale Park.
Guessing you like Michigan.
Go Blue.
We miss some folks over there. Cannot skip my other mama. Listen, you come here enough, I adopt you. You become about that speaker. Sorry about that.
Carol Jenkins, 40th Street Block Club, Twin Eagle Shop.
We're so glad to have you, Mama.
Hello, I'm LaShonda Boyd. This is my first meeting.
Okay, well, welcome. Everybody say, hey! Hey! Happy first meeting. Surprise, it's here for you. Okay, well, cool. Thanks so much for coming out. We got 2 people in the back as we wrap up. I know you're tired of hearing my voice.
We're here from the Elite Women Organization. And what we do at Elite Women Organization, we are a group of business women who provide different services to the community and to various businesses around the Detroit area. We also partner with nonprofit organizations like Keep the Schools Safe to go into our schools and provide those different things that the children need, like school supplies. We're gearing up for the next election and voter registration. Things that's going to promote the city of Detroit, we're trying to be a part of at this point. So we have cards here. We want to meet everyone in the room. We also have a masquerade ball coming up on October 27th. That's in partnership with Keep the Schools Safe. It's going to be over at the Detroit PAL Center. So we have invitations back here for that as well. So nice to meet you guys.
Yeah. So how do people get a hold of you? They want to reach you?
We have our cards back here. You can call us at, I don't know the number by. Get us on the web at elitewomenorganization.com. Okay. But we do have cards back here. We'll make sure you guys get them.
That's perfect. Thank you so much for coming out. And you're with her.
Yeah, I don't really know what else to say.
She did an excellent.
No, my name is Crystal Childry, and I am the head of the PR team, and Christina, she's the head of our social media team. So thank you so much for having us. This is our
All right, going once, going twice. Give you your due.
Sorry I'm late. My name is Monica Biddle. I'm with the Church of Scientology. We're in downtown.
Okay, well.
We cover all of Detroit and beyond.
Hey, okay. Well, we're so glad to have you today. As we get ready to transition, folks, I want to leave you with a couple of housekeeping tips. Please make sure that you sign in on that back table. This is not for anything political. We're not doing it to get you information, to send you any advertisements. This is to make sure that we can give you information that you need. When we get information in our office, we don't want to hold on to it. We want to make sure you, the community, get it. So write down your email address, your real email address, because we can tell if it bounces back, all right? Not 1234 at AOL.com. No, we know. We also have text messaging too. That information goes out that allows you to get on your cell phone, so you won't forget that you have a meeting today. You know that you can come here and speak with us. So without further ado, I'd like to bring up Councilman James Tate. Round of applause, please. Somebody help me stand up. This ain't working. Yes, thank you.
I'll give it up for Aaron Hall. Thank you. It's not always easy sitting up here. So he does a tremendous job, like all the rest of the team does as well. So we appreciate you all for being here. Good morning.
Good morning.
Oh, man. It's Friday, first Friday, so that means we have a give them a chance to do that. It's going to be very eye-opening and informative as well. So I see some new folks in the room today in the back, right? First timers? Back here, you guys first timers, right? Good morning. How'd you guys find out about the meeting?
To see what we can do in the community, and we saw this spot, and Chris put it on our social media to promote this business, and we found out there was a meeting that was going to be here, so we just decided to stay, check it out.
Awesome. Now, where do you guys live?
I'm sorry?
For folks we have folks who are watching from across the city and different areas of the state and the state. We get them from other places. One, I'll let you know that right now. But the information that we have is definitely useful for everyone. So we want any and everyone who has questions or concerns, please, if you're on the line right now, Aisha's taking a look at the feed. If you have any questions and concerns that we may be able to answer via internet or via social media, we'll do that. But today, here we are in person. I want to make sure that I thank you. Are there no rules? Everything is open, fair game. There's no silly questions. Want to get it all out and on social media, then by all means, one of my team members will take you aside after the meeting. We'll address those issues. Aaron Hall, do your thing. Look at you, won't talk, man. You go first. No, you go first.
Good morning. I'm Yvonne Gibbs, and I have several things I'd like to say. Questions I'd like to ask.
Yes,
First of all, I want to know if when people go to court and they get probation and community service, is alternative workforce still in force?
So that was a county program. I know it was limited at some point. I don't know right now where the strength of it is, but it had gone down tremendously because of the budget challenges that they had at one point. Find out, but are you looking for?
I'm asking because County Commissioner McCormick asked people to do. Okay, the cans are out there. She asked people to adopt the cans and that you clean up. Whenever you clean up to another source, they don't pick it up. I was told if she dropped the bags off and if she put a can it over to the McDonald's dumpster, which is in District 2. Clean the roads and clean the streets. If we're out there picking up trash, they should be responsible for removing that trash. Not my responsibility.
I can't answer on behalf of the Wayne County Commission. As a new income tourism, any those pick those up. We can't because we don't have.
Am I right or am I wrong?
Yes, yes, ma'am.
Okay, so my responsibility.
You talk with.
Well, I'm asking you to ask
McCormick.
Commissioner McCormick to come to one of the meetings so we can get information. Nothing against her. Then the problem that I really have is this sign, these signs that are coming from a 248 area. And I'm on Facebook asking, please stop putting those in the city of Detroit with your my houses and all the other signs. And I ride up and down the street in Cherry. But not in the city of Detroit.
I can't remember his name. I'm drawing a blank. Some of you know him. He retired from the department a few years ago, but he actually would gather members of the community, and we would go out and take those signs. We would actually go and take those signs down. That individual is no longer a part of the police department, but there are efforts that are out there. So I know that does cleaning, volunteerism. Yet again, I mean, I hate to say it, but there's a lot of work that we as community members have to do ourselves to address some of these issues. And some of us in our own community, we're actually putting those signs up as well. So that's a.
I know, and then there are many of us out there tearing them down, just like I am.
And I would never discourage you to do something because that's illegal.
Okay, but we're just asking that they stop putting them up in our area.
You got to like verbalize like.
Does anybody want the microphone? Anybody? Anybody? Want some microphone on speaker?
Well, you already know that.
Okay, my first issue is the entry. '96. Mr. Washington, and he has come out and cleaned the service drive. Overpass, and the issue is that there are They drive up over the overpass, and when they go over the overpass, there's constant. We have people who are homeless that are out there soliciting. So I want to know if there's any way that we can have them come out more often to maintain. I've only seen the convector there twice. Because to me, that's the entry into our area. So we should take pride in it, and it should look clean. It shouldn't be dirty. Not to mention there's a strip of businesses along Schoolcraft and Greenfield. There's trash, there's by business owners as far as the maintenance of that area. House that's located at 14841 Foyer Street. We were told not to do it. Come out there and address any. And he picked up, let's see, I believe it, well, yesterday was 3. The day before were it's a constant problem because they're nesting at this vacant house. So I just want to know if there's anything that can be done with all of the issues that I've just submitted.
Let's start backwards first. Can you turn his mic up just a little bit, Greg? So the last issue regarding I sat down about that very issue about the properties in the city of Detroit. What are we going to do as a city to address?
You can have this one.
All right, there.
You can have this one.
No, I need this one still turned up. I'm using the gas mic. So the Mike, through y'all. So we talked to the health director about this issue. How in the world do we deal with the challenge of wildlife? Because that's what the raccoons and the possums are considered.
Right.
New health director just stepping in, dealing with the, I don't know if you've been following the issues. So that is one of those priorities that we put on her plate. We as a city don't have a plan for it yet. And so we end up in a situation where private property owners sometimes have to either grin and bear it or hire remediation. There is some validity to the city. It addresses some of those issues. Now that doesn't into them. But once we find and we do a structural assessment and identify that that home is no longer inhabitable, then we have to
no one currently.
The Department of Neighborhoods. I can follow up with you regarding that one.
please, because I think I just saw Carla in here as well.
Yeah.
So, he is here. He's our, he had to leave. I saw him on the phone. So he's the environmental officer for building and safety. We'll get him on the track of those businesses along. First issue about the debris and the dust. We also had a a lot of it, at least initially, was coming from this brand new crushing concrete.
Right.
And they, I don't know, you've probably seen it along 96
I see it every
by
day.
Greenfield. So by law, they've added, I don't know if you've seen the concrete barriers that are called the director myself. They received numerous tickets. They have reduced, according to the department, there were heavy trucks and they're damaging the surface.
Right.
So there is a discussion, conversation. We're working with the new company, with some of the other companies, that dust. So we're working on it. Have not solved it. If you have not done that, that means we got to crank it back up.
Because I go that way every day. So it's trash as well that goes down the ramp. And it's just frustrating, because you have to deal with it every day. And it really shouldn't be like that.
I used to live on Asbury Park, so I used to go that way every day. So and have to go back over and take a trip.
All right, thank you. I appreciate it.
I have one other thing. I did work with some other people to do a cleanup on St. Mary's in Florence at a home. Basically, what we had to do was clean out a garage and board it up. We called Officer Johns at the 8th Precinct. She told us to call. That was actually running the cleanup had got some other boards from other people. We cleaned out the grass and the leaves and the trees had grown around this garage, and children have to go to school going that way. So when it starts getting dark, someone could have gotten snatched up in that garage. I was told that I was trespassing. Then, when we put everything out in front, when we cleaned out the garage, did not go inside the house, did not go in the yard. That we were trespassing, and when we called to get a special pickup, we were told, you should wait until the bulk day.
How many days are we talking for the position? Bulk pickup is 2 weeks.
Okay, it was the week before bulk pickup, but we didn't know. The main concern was that no child got snatched, or woman or man got snatched in that garage. Wouldn't you want that area cleaned? And are we trespassing when we board up something that's dangerous?
So technically, yes, you are, because it is somebody else's property. Now, I wouldn't tell you not to do certain things. I want to make sure that we, again, I'm always saying we need to go and so we talked about tearing down the signs. I said, yes, please help us tear down those signs. And that it's the community.
A block association leader.
That's
okay.
what this is all about, community having a conversation with the community,
Right.
even in your own neighborhood.
Right.
I can't police them, but I agree with you. But as a
I will do it
community,
again. If I'm breaking the law and I see that happening again,
Yes.
I will do it again. I did not go into that yard. None of us went into that yard, and we did not go into the park. We didn't. And I thank Sergeant Johns for giving us the information as to where to get the boards. But I'm surprised that our district manager would say you should have waited until bulk day. In between that 2 weeks, something could have happened in that garage.
So I totally understand the desire and necessity to deal with it right now when we see. I know. So what we have to do also from the city side is make sure that we're prepared to collect all of that, because we don't have random trucks just driving around. We have to coordinate it. And so it's always better, and I know it doesn't sound good, but I'm just telling you how government works. And we just don't have the ability to, if someone over on this side of the town did a bulk, or something that required bulk, and it's not on that bulk day, and then somebody else did, we just don't have the manpower to go from that location to that location. So if we know in advance, that's why we'll always ask, if you're looking for a special pickup, we can do that. That may have been so close to and I don't know the dates, it may have been so close to the actual bulk pickup day, that's why they was said. I can't say exactly why.
It wasn't the week of the bulk pickup, but it had to be done. And I went to another meeting, and one of the officers who does the board ups, he said that if we contacted him and we had board ups in the 8th precinct, that he would come over and work on the board ups. But so I'm supposed to board up something that's full of trash. They could go through a window, drag a trash like that, so they can still get in. And we did cut down the trees. So I'm just saying, I'm thanking the police officers for the information they gave us and the help that they gave at the 8th precinct, and they did. They didn't ask if it was our bulk pickup date or any of that. They just told us where to contact to get the boards, and I thank you for that.
And shout out to 8th precinct. Commander and Captain, very proud to hear that from this officer.
Also, if I can speak on that briefly.
Just to speak on that briefly, we did an east side effort to board up homes. Our police department has done an east side effort to board up homes. And I know they did over 2,500 homes on the east side. Currently, they're on the west side. And what happens with that is we have neighborhood policing officers from across the city. And they go into these homes, they clear the homes out, and then they board up the homes. Now, they're on the west side now. So what I like to ask of all of you, if there are homes on your block, there are homes in your area, let's say it's a row of homes or something like that you feel need to be boarded up. As opposed to just jumping all over the place. So if we have like a place, or that home you're referring to would have been one of the first to get boarded up, so you wouldn't have to do it. Okay?
We didn't know. It was just
no problem. I understand. No problem. All right.
So Carla Williams, our new district manager, I know her name was evoked, so we want to give her an opportunity to express her concern about that issue as well. Good morning.
Good morning, everyone. Good morning. So I just want to So again, I am, that definitely is different.
That's good.
I'm sitting on the other side, so if anyone has any concerns, I'll be it is my request, and whenever it's possible, to let us know ahead of time when there's going to be any kind of community effort, so that we can make sure that items are not laying out there longer than out there a little bit longer, which also adds to blight. So we did pick up the items, and I did say, absolutely, in picking those items up, if we can try to coordinate any kind of block club efforts around bulk day, we can make our contractors responsible for what we're contracting them to do, which is to pick up those items. So I don't things that are separate, not regular normal. And because I'm new to the district, I have to just assume that people do not know the entire process, and I'll always apply those best practices when I'm meeting people. I'm only 30 days in, and so as I engage with people, thank you, as far as District 1, then I want to be clear in that. I also want to say that in the event that someone is doing a special cleanup, and it could be construction items, it could be a cleaning out of your house, the city offers a paid pickup. It's about $40 sometimes, and it's for a nice amount of items. They just have to be at the curb. So there are different ways that we can work together. House's error is one thing we can do. If it's something that you're trying to do to beautify. So thank you. And your name again, please? My name is Carla with a K, and my last name is Will. District 5 prior, and then recreation prior to that. But I grew up in District 1, so.
Any other questions for Carla while she's here?
3484. And if you have Latrice's number locked into your phone, you can just change the name because the title stays.
New people here, folks are watching, may not.
Mayor's office, and our goal is to be the liaison in educating residents on best practices as residents, building block clubs, and kind of being your communication. And then we also want to be able to answer questions about administration policies if you want. Excuse me, in your neighborhood. We work close with the councilman, and we also that are assigned to assisting residents.
Well, thank you, ma'am. We appreciate it. You gonna sit around for a little bit?
I am. I'll be right over there.
All right. Carla Williamson, y'all. Thank you. Here's a seat.
I trained dogs forever. My late husband ran the canine unit. One of our dogs came down with leptospirosis on one occasion, and I wanted to know why. It helps their nose. But anyway, we traced the source to the local raccoon population. And when they tore down a house back then, rats, you have to eliminate the food source that draws them. But the other problem, I eventually obtained a live trap. I spoke with someone from Animal anywhere in the county, and he recommended Rouge Park because there was a woods nearby.
You mean like catch and release?
Yes. I used Burger King French fries, no swear on McDonald's, but they ate those, and that way the feral cats, which I have that control the rodents, they won't go in the trap for those. But the raccoons love them, and possums. What I want to say is we had one coon that I really thought might have been rabid. I did call it. I want to say to folks, if you're going to trap these things, we have animals especially make sure they're vaccinated because rabies is at our back door on the infamous other side of 8 Mile. Lepto. And they also can carry giardia and other nasty things. So if you have pets, keep the water sources outside. And one was worth it because I've trapped over 300 of the little flown. If they get in your house, they'll come and repair the damage and get the animal out, but it's just
Who's not trained and
if they're in a confined space, because this evil raccoon was in her house. I wish I had a video of it. Because he actually had his Glock out at one point because the thing was on a couch ready to attack. And all I did is open the front door and he went out. Now, I heard them, they can be very dangerous. So my recommendation, a very dangerous animal when they're aggressive. They can hurt you. But the other end up having to get rabies shots because they do carry it.
information.
We're located at Grand River and Blackstone, and as you know, we have a Myers in our area. Well, a lot onto Grand River because the I believe it should be Wayne. This block is right there at Myers.
Now, when you say they're not timed properly, what do you
What I mean is the lights that are on Grand River, the people that are coming off of their neighborhood streets. The lights be timed or a light be put at some. Absolutely.
Amber light on
Blackstone
heading on to Grand River.
Yes, it's right across from the library, you know, and it would like this ever since Myers.
You don't
has
want to
been
cross
here.
at Blackstone.
No, you do not. But if they can go down to the corner and the light has caught the cars, well, then they can walk across.
So this will be a part of the conversation that we'll have with NDOT and with street stations, because that will be part of that. If the lights are an issue and a challenge, we'll bring that issue up as well. Make sure you give that the information so she can put you directly in contact with the NDOT folks.
Okay, also about speed bumps in our neighborhoods. We have a lot of people that think the streets are drag streets. And a lot of times I'm concerned not only for the safety of the children in our neighborhoods, but the safety of people's homes, because we've had homes hit where people are dragging with their cars and go right into a neighborhood's house. So that's another concern.
So let me ask you, have you and your neighbors applied for the street humps?
We haven't had a response yet.
So everybody wants them, right? Who wants street humps in your neighborhood? Who already have them? Right, so there's a lot of people who want them, and that's just in District 1, that's just in this room. We can't do the entire city at one time.
No, I understand
So
that.
what I read, we were looking for a list of the locations of where all of the street humps are. Requested a list of where all the street humps are.
Well, all the
in the street humps.
I think they got it to me. Let me check. Make certain.
Okay, so we did request that. Now I will tell you this: they're done for the most part, except Bird Road this year.
Okay.
That's going to be. We're going to place the remaining. '13th of October 12th or 13th, so that's coming.
13, 14.
13 and 14.
Okay, well, that's good to hear.
So that's on Berg Road, but for the most part, they've already
Berg,
cycled.
B-U-R-T or B-E-R-G?
B-E-R-G.
Berg.
But they have cycled through District 1 already.
All right.
So now they're cycling through the rest of the districts, and then they will come back to District 1 to fill in. So that information that you and your neighbors, I will tell you, still
Continuously do it.
Fill out the forms, because that shows that there is a desire to have them. Because there are some folks who said, over here, when I asked the question, do you want them? Hands didn't go up. So you all, if you are interested in it, it would more than likely provide more of a priority basis, and also have the traffic inspectors go out and see if do
If it's
a
really
survey
needed.
to see if it's really
I know
needed.
guys that are taking put cameras out sometime just to see. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Southwood Expressway. Most of them went
I don't
on the
know.
west
That's why I
side.
say I have to wait for the list.
Okay, so that's what we need to know as well.
I want to give you the whole list.
Okay.
East, west, middle.
Is there anyone on this side of the room who has a question that would like going twice? Other side of the room.
All right, no, not yet, not yet. See, not yet. That's what I'm saying. This is so, Commander Patterson, come on up. You want to talk about?
Yes, I want to talk about an issue that we're trying to get passed in the city of Detroit. We're trying to get enacted in the city of Detroit. Oftentimes, the police mission and what our community wants are kind of the same things. You have quality of life issues that you want the police to take care of, and we have a mission, and it's our job, the captain and our job, trying to get your issues covered while we're trying to get our police mission taken care of also. And one of our issues is the use of traffic light mounted cameras. What we want to do is put traffic light mounted cameras about every half mile on our main thoroughfares. Now, these traffic light cameras are for criminal activity only. We won't be around trying to see who's jaywalking. We won't be trying to write tickets by
car insurance.
No, nothing like that. Nothing like that. What we're trying to do is we're trying to solve crimes. We're trying to catch people in the act of crimes. And our department has strict rules on how these cameras will be utilized. And when I say strict rules, I'm telling you, if you violate these rules, you will be in trouble. And we take this very seriously. Some of the things we won't be using cameras for, as I mentioned earlier, won't be any civil infractions, no traffic, anything like that, no jaywalking. And here's another very important point. We won't be using them for immigration purposes. We won't be out here trying to look and say, oh, there's an immigrant, right? We're not doing that. That's not what we do. We're looking for people that are committing crimes, actual crimes. No. They're going to be in intersections. How many of you ever rode through one of our nearby suburbs and looked up while you had an intersection and you saw cameras pointed down? Those are the kind of cameras we're trying to put up, and those cameras will be utilized to help us lock up people that are out here doing these heinous crimes that they commit in the city. Captain DeSico has about 19 crimes that occurred at intersections that haven't been solved. And they could have been solved if we were able, or if we had these cameras up looking down and being able to see these license plates of these vehicles and the description of these vehicles that these perpetrators or criminals are using to commit crimes in. So I just want to convey the importance of how this would help the community, how it would help the police department lock up these bad persons that are doing these bad things. So I just wanted to mention that while I was here. And trust me, I even if I wasn't the police, I will still be for these cameras. Because when I look up and I'm riding around the suburbs, I'm like, how come we don't have this in Detroit? Well, we're trying to bring it to Detroit, and we're trying to make our city a much safer place.
That's what we do here. We talk about the full breadth. And so I think it's always important for us to point counterpoint, because that way those individuals who may have issues or on either side are able to come a little these particular cameras. From my understanding, it's not necessarily facial recognition. It's not facial recognition at all, but it is similar technique. Put in a license plate, we will potentially track it.
You're stopped at an intersection. There's footage of a person. We will utilize that if we can. Office, and we're going to take a steal of that picture from that. We have some criminal records. Is for us to capture license plates, description, and attempts to rob someone in their car at one of these intersections, and we're able to capture a picture from that video. It will be used to try to catch that person. That is correct. That is definitely in our policy. We won't. For people driving through red lights or disregarding stop signs, things.
To the police department having that as a policy is actually state law that prohibits us from doing that. That's not just in Detroit. That's throughout the entire state of Michigan. So this is a very important conversation, because there's a huge conversation now around the country that's taking place about technology and policing. One of the concerns that many people have, one is it being misused by individuals. And the fear is, what do you do with the information after the investigation is desire to place it in the system? But these are questions that have been coming my way, and I think that's why it's important. As the assistant chief and the chief of police, we have to have a community conversation, because there's a lot of misinformation. This side and that side, and depending on who you talk to, they will influence you. We have to have that.
Maintain records for a maximum of 30 days unless it's actually being used in the commission of an investigation. Particular case in question. And speaking of that, as the commander alluded, we use this almost exclusively for crimes that have already been committed. So we're investigating a specific crime at a specific intersection or a specific. Thursday, September 19, 7 a.m., 56. Malibu, darken the windows. I know it's not our community, but the point is, besides that, we have a loose description of all right. Another one. To capture some of the incident on camera, now we may have a description. Now we things that this technology use. Plug in the license plate, and if it hits on a camera, there was an incident a couple of months ago where a license plate reader did hit on a double non-fatal shooting perpetrator. That knew what they were looking for. They stopped the person. We don't use it for any non-violent crimes. So I just wanted to share that. Police, we're trying our best to
I thank you all for coming because this is the thing that I've said that we have to do more of, have those kind of, we're going to definitely take some questions. So, I've gotten a call from Commander, Assistant Chief, we talked Captain. So what's the
He brings us to our meetings and asks us to come do use it for, or what the benefits may be.
You're looking for support from we should have this kind of conversation. We fill in the blank. This is what we others as well. So that's why it's so important. And I hear someone else, and this so they're more than likely this is my I've said it again and I'm going to say it, I'm looking potential of having these cameras, right? Benefit, or for some people they feel that they're going to be the ones under surveillance. That's why
do my best.
All right, Aaron. She actually had her hand up first. It's the first time too, so
Okay,
information purposes? Like, can you, and it's recorded or anything, would a camera be put in that particular area, or is it just strict?
Neighborhoods, it's on main thoroughfares, I believe.
That's the hot spot that we always talk about.
Right, I believe
It's
7
been
Mile.
hot for a long time.
Right, I believe those are the in the streets, the intersections, and not watching the businesses, but when things happen at businesses, we can capture that direction of travel for physical description of the person, true, but probably the best benefit for us is at least the vehicles.
Not to place the cameras in the neighborhood. You use ring cameras, right?
The police department's fault. We're not trying to invade anybody's privacy. Okay. Try to keep the crime down and try to solve these crimes. So I think that's where our main focus is, to be able to protect in those areas where we have the most amount of people.
7 Mile in Southfield. Person leaving from that area to how far?
We want to do them every half a mile, I want to say. And 7 Mile. Let me see the green lights around there. Maybe he. But trying to keep an eye on where they're going, and we have video cameras that possibly some of the residents have. We may ask, "Hey, do you have some footage? Maybe we can take a look at." But
be a hand up.
Okay, my concern is, we know people do and then the police came up to you and talk to you about it. You had nothing to do with it, but somebody. Like I know for a first hand, somebody, a friend of mine told me, somebody looked.
So it's a little different from the cameras that they're talking about. But again, what you're alluding to is the question about technology and policing as a whole.
Hi, you mentioned many of them are in Detroit, and where are they located?
I don't have the data on where
Installed, whose property, who owns it, whose property is it on? I mean, I've never heard of maybe I need to get out more. But who owns them and where are they installed?
Well, area and they drive behind someone, it'll register, and anything that's in our database that we're looking for, it doesn't scan everything unless we're looking for it. They're in police cars, and there are some that are mounted on like streetlights, not streetlights, the traffic intersections.
Our municipal parking, individuals that operate, they also have the technology.
Okay, but these stationary ones, is that information publicly available somewhere on the city's website or?
Like where the location of the
I never knew that. I mean, I would have assumed that police officers would have them in their cars. That seems reasonable. But that there are already these devices installed in stationary locations, I think, is news.
We have time for two more of these questions. We do have an actual invited guest that we have here. This was an impromptu conversation. Thanks, Captain and Commander.
And Councilman Tate for bringing this question up. But since we're talking, Councilman Tate, since we're talking about transparency, one of the two-tiered system of justice. And what makes me nervous about the technology for working class people and another standard for wealthier people. There's a class system. And so when we talk about bringing technology in the community, we all want to lower crime. We all want to be safe. But when it's used against the people, that might be why you would get some pushback against it, because telling the truth, we have an unequal justice system, and I don't want the technology to be a further
What would, and you are the perfect individual to answer this question, what would the government, our government, be able to do to implement in a policy that will make you more comfortable? You may I'm asking this as your council member who would have to sign off on it.
I think the question that was asked by the sister over there about where these things are would be helpful. I've gotten a ticket from New York. The recognition of my license plate was sent to me in Michigan from New York. So I know that the technology exists. If we had some reassurance that it would be handled impartially, because of this, we're going to implement policies that will ameliorate or change we're going to be in jail.
So what's the plan to publish the policy? That way some I do know that there is some there is a reason why you would not want to put out where all of the locations are for policing purposes. But to know how many they are and how have they been used and how many times they've been used. So I don't want, I mean, I would not encourage us putting out the locations.
Well-
But how many and how they have been used.
And educating the people as to the fact, okay, so don't tell us where they are, but just make a positive, and bring the people in on it instead of, oh shit, they're gonna get me again.
Well, the only thing I'd say about the license plate readers, it's a piece of the puzzle for an investigation. That's it. That's not even close. We're at their leads. They're pushing us in a direction. Have anything before. Now we have at least a little something to go on. There's a lot more to it that goes, that goes into it. And again,
Here is that people, and like Ms. Pat said, people are looking for ways to become, for the city of Detroit. Situations that have led to that conclusion. For my support, questions as a press release. Community partner, you guys are doing a tremendous job with the NPOs and you're here having this engagement, so we appreciate the east side, there's other folks on the west side, there's folks who questions before we go to the next. We got the mic coming in. With the police department.
I can answer that. We had a program that we were trying to what we had did was we had trained members across the department in order to become drone pilots. The mayor thought it would be better if we had civilian employees becoming pilots for the drone project, and instead of police officers taking operating the drones. So what ended up happening is, okay, hey, we got police officers doing that, we're not going to do that, we're going to have civilians doing it. So that it was put on the back burner, and I believe they're looking to find a way to implement the program with civilians instead of police officers. So that's where it is at this point.
So again, technology policing. It wasn't necessarily we don't want it, it's how does this thing work? And I've heard a little bit about it. The whole meal. I think that's what I want myself personally. That's what I'm encouraging.
And before I go, recognition, which I'm not really here to talk about, but I have and that's how much I believe
process involved in our facial recognition, and it works. And it's not going to just no, it doesn't work like that. You can see how it works. Or after you actually see, you'll feel like I do. My 5 boys, all right?
Anytime. So we're now about to transition the last question. So very involved and engaged. You've been here before. Detroit. Y'all give him a round of applause. So for dirty jobs. Jobs that make sure that we realize and keep in mind that these are real people. We've had linesmen who, when your lights go out in DTE, you're already mad at him. When the linesman comes out, you're probably mad at him too, but that guy is just doing his job. We have individuals who have come. People get mad at that person because the routes are messed up. That's challenges that these individuals who choose to work for the city and get into public service. Thank you for being here.
Thank you for having me. Facial recognition, and I worked at one of the big after that I got hired by the city. The technology that they're speaking of today, that they're using, been doing with all these years. Been using. And it's so, I'm telling you, y'all, technology now, they can tell you
so here's how really deep it goes. So this is why the conversation has to be had about technology as a whole. It has a satellite that beams down, and you park your car based on the beam all the way in outer space that will tell you that you're. We pay for it. Didn't know about it. And it's the government. That's a whole different. We still have to take control of it as much as we can, because though the technology continues to evolve, ultimately we the people are the ones who should direct how it's used, right?
That's true. That's true. And I've always believed I believe in law enforcement and safety and public safety to the utmost, but we have to have someone watching the police, so to speak. In today, started developing the OBD 1 and 2 systems. They can actually, back in 97, take control of your car in 97. This is 2019. They've had this technology for years.
You would know because the
a $7,000 computer that I bought out of my own money. Tell me these cars today have a self-diagnostic capability. Used to have the idiot light. So sensitive. You could pull up to a gas station. Computer to tell you you pump gas with the car. Seen some of the stuff they did. I worked for Ford and GM. I've learned more work. They have for no change.
experience. How did you
Tons of it. It was actually a nasty. And I walked into the cafeteria up there, the area where I was working at location.
What year we talking?
93. No, 96. That location. Me and Howell has a reputation of being a headquarters for was in there having a meeting. And the meeting was about the welcome committee. Affiliated with and when I heard it, I made my selection. When the pop shot down, you know, I make that clunk clunk noise. They turned and looked, and it was like, oh hell, what did he hear? I put my resume out there. Got accepted at Chrysler. In the city of Detroit, because I have fire training. Someone taught me about little tricks you can use. In a paper, if you probably never seen it before, it has fibers embedded in it. So when you go to rip it, to tear it loose, it's like. It shows a different character about you, a different person. Attitude I had, and with them for the mechanic position, and they gave me a pick. DPW, it shows you how the Lord works. DPW or DDOT. So both of them have overtime, but working with DPW, you have to work on garbage trucks. That you all throw away. When the truck breaks down, I have to climb under it and try to find out what's wrong. Had an incident the other day. I took a break. I wasn't even working on this truck. I'm about as far as from here to the camp. Right. I mean squirrel size. jumping down off the back of the truck, ran back around my way, saw me. And all they do is, and this is, so we got buku rat poison in boxes all over the place. We had a rat come out last night, a raccoon come in last night, and a stray cat. And the location I work is right by the old incinerator. When they shut that down, all the critters that were going over there to feed, they got a garage over here with these. And I was going to ask this question because I hear everybody, and I'm not trying to be funny, but I'm a country boy. Don't any of y'all eat raccoon? No, seriously, how many in here? Yeah, seriously. What's the difference between a city raccoon and
have raccoons out in the field?
I'm an avid sportsman, okay? We go out there hunting. You married? No, let me. I know some co-workers. To clean their food. They mostly eat but I'm just curious about that.
After, if you don't take them a long distance away, they
I'll tell you. Oh, go ahead.
We want to steer.
I had to ask that because I hear everybody talking about. I said, well, I know some of these folks from down. I think it was. It's a new department. It was, if I'm not a couple of different garages from like forestry and made one department, and we work on all their vehicles. Anything from A to Z, I fix. And pretty good at it. I started off I hate that he left the commander's mobile command center, the big bus that they have. Check on some things, and I saw where they had the presidential debate. 6 officers on wheels, and they got a detainment center in the back of the bus. I never knew that. I got to work on something I worked on once before, and it's kind of the taxpayers' money. It's the armored personnel carrier. It's known, they call it the Special Response Team, but it's a SWAT truck. 12 tons of the and the thing won't even dip. Will run through a house. I mean, this sucker is and they were doing the exercise. They're not gonna catch me out there in this. If I get carjacked, but they can't get carjacked. A scratch, a nick, or goes down.
Party is fixing on cars.
It's different in as far as something as simple as a fuel. The bear, the SWAT truck works. Stop, and they had issues with those at first. And they go to a lot of bugs out of it, but I mean, it's totally different. We have the car side and then we have the truck side.
So talk to us about the train. I mean, it sounds like some new stuff is being piled in every.
I have an auto repair shop in the area. Been with the city 20 years, 5 months, 3 days, 7 hours, and you get the point. So I would go back to training with doctors, lawyers, police officers. When you subscribe to those type of jobs or occupations, and get caught up on some of the new technology. The city drags their feet a lot, but they do send us back for training. I was supposed to go 3 weeks ago for the sweepers. We were supposed to go to Chicago, but I had something very important come up that I couldn't go, so they at different locations around the city. Then they get the new equipment, you know. We could do better as far as the training of the mechanics. In the locations, we doing an A1 job, and I wish they would allow y'all just to come in there. I know half of y'all wouldn't even come when y'all see one. As soon as you see a rat, whoop, oh yeah, nice visit.
Yeah, you can make that story sound very appealing.
Oh man, it's a mess, but we have to. All this stuff running down, dripping on you, doing breaks, and all I'm doing, I'm laying up under there cussing the mayor and the city council out. I mean, but you have to do it. Get a rag. Sometimes we can power wash it. We can request that if the vehicle like is loaded with garbage. Now, That don't always happen. Basically, put that so, but you know, we do what we can with what we can, and we still get the job done. That's why you see a lot of guys over there disgruntled because it could be better, but it could also be worse.
Want to do this. I always ask that question. You know, life does not lead you in one straight path. Life does this, does that. What is it when you were a little boy, when you were a little queen? What did you want to be?
You know, different stages of change. At my first job, I wanted to be an architect. Equipment. He worked for a big company now and still around Square Wall. National Bank building downtown. And he told me a little story about when he did box. And he told us about that, and it was very hair-raising, the story he told us. The black guys had to stay there and work. The white guys went up to their car, they listened on the radio, and they was I've seen nothing like that before, but he told me Kennedy had just got killed.
So architecture was one thing. So
I'm also Secretary Treasurer for Aspen Council 25, Local 229, and took me to Catholic school no more, so he turned me out to the public school. I fought the first day of school all the way to the last. Learn the game plan, learn the rules and regulations. So that's how I deal with them. I deal with them on their playing field with their rules. It's a little different now. I was about 11 years old, walking to the store. We saw a house catch on fire. Little girl got burnt, and when I asked her, joined them. My stepfather was he retired as he sent me to fire training school. I took a couple classes, then I went to Oakland University, then I went to Oakland again, then I went to Macomb. To see the Ferndale as a firefighter. I would do that on the weekends, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday on midnight. Fall back on in case things got tough. And I went on cars. Now the funny thing about it, they told me you could go to DPW, which worked there about 10 years, and then here I am back at DPW. Just can't shake the DPW. But training and stuff like that, can we make more? Of course. Of course. We're the lowest paid in the northern half of the United States.
a lot of folks, and how many mechanics do we have in the room? Okay, so we got a lot of folks who are not familiar with auto mechanic. One, I mean, word of mouth, of course, but if you don't have anyone who has gone to that particular
mostly, like you say, word of mouth. But I'll tell you, for people. That's all right. You're not. The majority of my customers are females and older, and I. But some of them I try to educate them on the workings and the fundamentals. You came and asked me, I might give you this crazy look, but I still run it down to you and tell you. But the thing of it is, you got to understand. They had to restructure the car. And the first place it started was the engine. Where it used to be an 8-cylinder engine weighed 999 pounds back in the early 70s. The same engine today runs about and they made the engines out of aluminum. The average car, I'll say 90% of the cars y'all driving out here now, I could take one of those little yellow propane tanks and melt your life away. So what I'm saying is this, they can't take this aluminum. I see I got so many of these female customers coming in where it ran hot, and baby, I had to get my nails appointment, and I wasn't about to be late because Shanae charged me $25 for it. And $1,300 gone. All because they cannot take heat.
What we're going to do now is open up for any questions. I know you probably got some good answers. Or any questions for Queen?
I wasn't going to ask a question. Hello, my name is India Jones. And last summer, 2 summers ago, I interned at DPW. And I just want to say that I commend you for your work because I've seen day-to-day the operations and you know how some of the trucks stay late to get the job done. And you know, it's just great. You know, a lot of people don't know the everyday operation or never been to the office or, never talked to a city worker. But I know it's not many people that have the job that you have, and so my hat's off to you.
Where's your establishment, your business located?
Here's the thing, and I'm going to tell you, it's on the corner of Franklin and Scott. Now, I bought this tax auction, rehab the building about 90%, open it up for business. I have caught so much hell from the neighborhood that I'll be out of there the 17th of next month. Y'all, they seem to like it better when it was abandoned and graffitied up and stolen cars was everywhere, windows bust open. So me and Randy have butted heads deep. I'm gonna tell you, here's a good example, and I don't want to get off the subject. The building had been empty for 9 years before I bought it. I bought it in the tax auction. Kids come along and tagged it, graffiti. I buy it, 6 months later, they hit me with a $1,600 fine for the building being graffiti. Well, yeah, well, it was like that when I bought it. Well, guess what, Mr. Quinn, you in here. Because I repair all the vehicles. Nope. And vehicles around there, they come over there and steal the batteries out of it. out the cars. Customers' cars, my tow truck. Loose, unscrew it, take it. They cut the cables. Cables. Then I'm just facility because I restore classic cars too. See, I got a '64 Mercury Park. I got rid of that. I got a '64 Malibu two-door drop top. Been professionally restored. It's only like the only way I would bring that if Chief Craig and the commander followed me in their car.
I hear Chief Craig is a car guy, so that might happen.
I have that, and I have a '69. This gonna make your heart burn. A '69 and a '70 poor man's Cadillac. What's a poor man's Cadillac? Deuce and a quarter. Deuce and a quarter. 60. Here out in Belleville restored. But I restore cars. So my goal is now is at my beautiful age of 30, I've decided so I'm gonna get away from doing a lot of heavy work. I still do the small things, but I'm gonna get out here and play with these cars and get out ride with them, ride with my grandson and my great grandson, and enjoy myself.
Man, we appreciate you for the work you do. And thanks for being here. I appreciate it. Give it up. On this side. And I apologize for the delay, but we had two very important, especially the police department.
I have two quick questions, and I'll give you both questions and then you can answer them. The first question is Census Coordinating Committee for District 1.
Mm-hmm.
So on the recreational marijuana, I think November 1st is the deadline for municipalities to let the state know whether they're opting. Is there going to be an ordinance proposed?
Yes, ma'am. But we are working on the draft right now to make sure that it is something that is more beneficial than now you have an opportunity for, in these certain cities, I forgot the exact terminology, but the cities that have, there's 14 of them, I believe. Been affected by the marijuana industry. Detroit is one, and Flint, many of the urban areas. Now, do some things more creative. Things for Detroit.
It should be coming soon because time's running out.
I agree. As well before this.
Good, good. We need that transparency. My second question is, thanks to the leadership of Pat Taylor Braxton, we had a meeting last night with She was urging us to form census coordinating committees each. The mayor appointed Vicky Cook. Should be district by district. Where the whole of district is 100% in District 1. So tell us what you know.
Can you tell us a little bit about, because everyone's been in some of the meetings that have taken place. Is that win again?
Work together, but
just so you know.
Yes.
Good afternoon, everyone. So to for the different districts, but in addition, they're also reach for the census to make sure that everyone Aaron, and we can also talk about it offline. And that's for anyone else too that's interested.
So who?
It's Councilmember Tate. That's the last one.
Yes.
Honorary. I'm gonna tell you right now. So I will utilize my staff and my team. But I am not going to be out there knocking on every door.
We are here with you,
yes, ma'am,
and giving you support and giving you suggestions. I sent out email to about 40 heads of community groups in Detroit. We had a good response of people that showed up. We need is that we have such talent in District 1, but frequently the right hand doesn't know what the left hand is doing. And we were told by those of us that were there are with some of the biggest groups in Northwest Detroit, and we didn't know. So, you know what we said, Pam said, not asking you to do the work. We're asking you, what was it, the term was used, you've got the broad. We'll do the work, but the point of the thing is that it has to be made vital, because 2020 is going to be a pivotal year for our nation. And coordinate together, we're going to lose. And it's just, we really, I keep thinking about history. We've got to stand. People are counted. And see, for another thing we were talking but Councilman Tate, if your office and Carla Williamson's office went to all the high schools and said to them, We want to target every child in this school that will be 18 by November, blah, blah. And we want to have a system. We can't just jump up and do it, but we need the auspices of that broadband.
So I will tell you, we are working on something involving voter education and getting people involved in it. Together right now. We're not going to wait until next year. $10 years ago. It is a challenge, and I'm going to be honest with you. People don't respond until it's right in your face. And a lot of people have it's this whole federal presidential mess. I just want to talk about these broad issues. It's the federal government. That's hard. So I'm thankful to have somebody else who would like to do it, because we can pull it together. I just said I can't do it myself personally. That's bigger than me, but as a community we can do it. So if we have folks who are willing to assist with us, we're in.
And is civically engaged, or else you wouldn't be here. But for every person that is civically the census. So for those who be undercounted or not counted, period. And so should be the first ones to fill out the census, because they're the ones that might that being said, it's definitely a grassroots effort, but it's going to others fill out their census as well. And so again, if you're interested in participating, I'm definitely, because I have to meet with Erin, who is the deputy director over the census anyways, I would definitely take that feedback to her to make sure that you and so yeah, we can speak with her after this meeting. And also, John, you're interested as well.
I got something to piggyback on what you just said in regards
to hello everyone, to the census and voter registration. So you guys have a place to meet and greet and figure out what we need to do. We're also working with a group that's going to be doing voter registration in this community as well. So maybe we can link that group with this group. But whatever Artist Village, Java House, and Blightbusters can do to help support the census. Mention one thing, if I may, Councilman Tate. Angels Night is coming up. I know that Mayor Duggan has decided not to continue that tradition, but we were actually the group that coined the phrase Angels Night. Celebration of all the positive things that are going on, and we're going to continue to meet and have that event. And talk. We'd love to have you. So October 30th. Other event, but again, I think it's important to not only continue to patrol and protect and keep the neighborhoods safe. But I think we deserve a celebration of neighbors and neighborhood efforts and opportunities. And one other thing before I run out the door, I'm actually on my way to the city dump. We were helping a young lady named Mimi today. She bought a house from the land bank. The work's not done, so we took 30 yards worth of trash out of her backyard and her house. I've been renovating stuff for a long